with Pokemon Day actually being recently and us getting the announcement of the newest Pokemon game in the series, Pokemon Legends ZA. We actually got the information as well that we're going to be getting Mega Evolutions back with that game when it does release, probably towards the end of 2025. So I wanted to do kind of more of a funner video. I know this video is going to be like really, it's way too early for this. Like I said, the game's probably not going to be out for until like end of 2025, but with Mega Evolutions returning, I kind of wanted to go through some Pokemon that I hope to actually get a Mega Evolution going into those games. Granted, I don't know if I'll be playing them at this point. It's also kind of going to be kind of cool. Maybe like a year and a half from now, I can look back at this video and we can see what Megas we actually get, and I can kind of look if any of my predictions are kind of correct and that type of thing. So there's gonna be also kind of more of a like a commenter, like community based thing as well. Let me know in the comments down below, especially when we're discussing in this video, what you guys would like to see in Legends ZA, like what type of Mega Evolutions and that type of thing. Keep in mind, it's a Legends type game, so similar to Legends Arceus. I don't think there was actually abilities or items in those games, so I don't know if like the Mega Evolutions are actually gonna have any type of abilities or what they're gonna do for like held items, because normally they would have Mega Stones, but you can't have that for whatever reason. So I'm not sure how that's going to work yet. We don't really have any of that type of that information. So it's mainly going to be typing and like stat changes and maybe like move pool changes. I know there's a lot of other different type of things in Legends Arceus type game. Like there was different types of status, and some of the moves also worked a lot differently. So a lot of that type of stuff I'm not going to really be taking into consideration. Mainly just kind of talking about some Pokemon that I think really need Megas and that type of thing. So by all means, let me know in the comments down below as we're discussing this if you guys have any input, or if you guys want to list some of your own Pokemon that you think should be getting Mega Evolutions, what typing they should be getting, what abilities, stat distribution, move pool, that type of thing. I would really like to hear what you guys have to say. So without further ado, let's hop right into this. They're not going to be too much on screen. I'm just going to be on Showdown, kind of showing you guys some stuff. So if you guys do want to tab out and listen to me talk, that's completely fine as well. Leave a like, subscribe, share the video. Let's hop right into this. So with the new games, we're going to be getting starters similar to Legends Arceus. We're probably going to be getting a choice of 3 different starters. For Legends Arceus, it was Hisuian Samurott, Hisuian Decidueye, and Hisuian Typhlosion. So with this game, I'm assuming they're probably going to take like different generation starters again, the ones that we never got. So like that type of thing. And I'm going to kind of throw some of the other ones maybe we can get that I think probably deserve Megas going into this in the future. First one's actually Torterra. I think Torterra is a mon that's, it really needs some help. And I think a Mega Evolution for this thing would be really good. If I were to actually give this thing a Mega Evolution, I think a typing that should actually be would be Grass Steel typing. Make this thing, instead of like a ground type, have it transform into like more of a Steel Grass type. That typing is incredibly good. It's the same typing as stuff like Ferrothorn and a few other things. It's a really solid typing, especially it only has like the 4 times weakness to fighting, and or 4 times weakness to fire and weakness to fighting. Apart from that, it's a pretty damn good typing. So I don't know what they really want to do with the thing, because they kind of buffed Torterra too, especially with this generation that we're currently in with Scarlet and Violet. And I think they gave it Shell Smash. There's a few 1 or 2 other moves they also gave, and it just didn't really do anything. Keep in mind, I'm also using National Dex for this because, like I said, we don't know what moves they're going to actually have in the game at all. None of that stuff was actually confirmed or anything, so take this all with a grain of salt. It's kind of pure speculation at this point. That's kind of what this video really is. But at least that's the typing I would give this thing. I don't know for abilities. Like I said, the Legends Arceus games probably aren't going to have like items or abilities, so not going to really talk about that very much in this video. Mainly just the stat distribution. I don't know what they really want to do. I would actually make it a lot more bulky. That's probably what I would do. I would throw a bunch more into Spidef, a bunch more into defense, some more into HP, and maybe a little bit more in both of its attack type stats. Just make this thing overall a huge, bulky monster. Similar to stuff like Mega Slowbro and a few of the other past Megas we kind of had that were just incredibly bulky. I don't know. I think it'd be a really good Mega though, for like a candidate for a Mega, at least for one of the starters, at least like the Grass type one. The other one I actually have in mind, at least for the Fire type one, would be Delphox. Delphox, like, don't get me wrong, it's not like a bad mon, which is going to be kind of the theme you guys see in this video. At least for me personally, like the main thing that I want with Megas, at least the main thing that I want with, or like I'd expect out of Megas, if it was me giving Megas out to certain Pokemon, would be mainly the Pokemon that have really bad stats or have just gotten power crept to no end over the past almost 10 generations, or the Pokemon that are really popular but not really the greatest competitively. And that's at least kind of the two kind of aspects that I kind of take into consideration when I would be giving out Megas, and that's kind of what you guys are going to see with a lot of Pokemon that I'm going to be talking about today. That Delphox, like, don't get me wrong, it has decent stats, but like, I would give this thing a Mega. I don't know what you would really give this thing for a typing. If they wanted to make this thing like a pure Psychic type, I think that would maybe be cool too, with like a Mega Evolution. Give it some more special attack, give it some more speed, maybe make it a little bit more bulky, give it some really cool moves. Like, it has a really solid move pool to begin with, don't get me wrong, but it just kind of comes down to what they really put in those games. I kind of just threw it on here because I think out of all the fire type starters, I think Delphox is probably one of the ones that might actually be getting a Mega Evolution, because I'm assuming they're going to have all the starters with the new games going to get some Mega Evolutions, because that's going to be the entire theme of the game. They did the same thing with the Oros remakes when a Mega Evolution was back then. Same with like X and Y and all that type of stuff. So kind of going to be the theme again. So I'm assuming they're going to give all the starters Mega Evolutions, and it's going to be Grass, Fire, Water. And as for the Water one, at least for the Water type starters, like, I was also thinking about Greninja, but like, I don't think they would actually give Greninja a Mega. Greninja already has Ash Greninja, and it's also an incredibly good mod already. It has really good abilities, and like, it's really popular to begin with. I think saving a Mega Evolution for something like an Inteleon, at least for like one of the Water type starters they could put into the game, would be really beneficial. I don't know. There's a few other Water type starters too. Like Samurott could also maybe get a Mega, but like, it was already in Legends Arceus, so that's why I didn't really think it was gonna get any type of Mega. But being that we don't have like any Gen 5 starters here either, maybe they can throw like a Gen 5 Mega in there. Maybe Mega Superior could be a thing. Granted, I don't think Superior really needs a Mega, but I don't know. It's Game Freak. They like to give Megas. There's a lot of Megas in the game too. They've done in the past, that stuff like Mega Metagross and like Mega Diancie and a bunch of other shit like Mega Mewtwo. Nobody asked for those because they were just really busted to begin with, and already really good mons. They didn't really need Megas, and they still got it anyways. So I don't know. At least for another Mega, I would probably give it would be into Inteleon. I don't know what you really do for the typing. Same for like the stats. Maybe if you want to make this thing like an incredible like glass cannon, throw this thing up to like base 160 speed or something crazy. Throw it up to like 140 special attack, and then throw some more a little bit into like, maybe throw some into attack, so maybe you can run a little bit mixed. I'm not sure, or some maybe into a little bit of HP. I'm not sure. Or just make like a full out glass cannon to where it has like no defense, but it hits so fast and it's like a truck. Maybe that's what they could do with it. I'm not 100% sure, but kind of more just spitball and kind of speculation. Can't really go based off of too much because, like I said, currently we don't have that much info, like what they're going to be doing with the Megas. So all we know right now is that it's going to be returning to the games in 2025. Now we're going to get into some of the mons that I think are not really starters. I don't think they're going to be like that important, but I think these are mons that should get a Mega, at least in my opinion, for me. So next one is Heatmor. I bet you guys forgot about this Pokemon. There's going to be so many Pokemon that, or like so many people that watch this video and that completely forgot that this thing even existed. Heatmor is, if you guys know what, this thing's from Gen 5. It was introduced, I think, in Gen 5. These stats are awful. These stats are fucking awful. I would actually make this thing, like, I would change this to from a fire type. I would actually change it to like a fire grass type or a fire ground type. It would be kind of cool for this thing. Give it a really cool Mega, buff its stats. I would make this thing like a mixed attacker, give it some really solid attack, some really solid special attack. Either if you want to make it bulkier, give it like some more speed. The main problem with this thing is its stats are just really bad. It has really bad defense, and it's just way too fucking slow. And its offensive stats are too bad to where it doesn't really do anything, even especially with how slow it is, even if you're running under like Trick Room or anything like that. So I don't know. Same with its move pool. Its move pool is kind of not really great. It's like, this is National Dex, so there's a lot more moves here, but it has decent physical move pool. A lot of these moves, I don't know if they're going to be coming back with the Legends games in 2025, but like, it has okay move pool, but they can give this thing a lot more coverage and a lot of other cool type moves, especially if they want to give it a secondary typing like a grass or like a ground typing, which I think would be really cool and fitting for this type of thing. Really cool mon, though. I think Heatmork has a lot of potential. I think a Mega Evolution could really bring out the potential in this mon, because it's one of those mons that I think everybody forgets about, and I don't even think like 90% of the people that even play Pokemon games nowadays don't even think this thing actually exists until they actually see it and hear of it. So here's two other mons I bet you guys forgot about. These are two of my favorite Gen 3 mons, at least for like the rock types for Gen 3. You got Lunatone. I'm going to kind of combine both of these together. Lunatone and Solrock. I think these with Megas would be really, really cool. You can kind of have these as like dual type Megas. Give them like both the rock typing, but give them like a secondary typing that's kind of different. I don't know, one of them would maybe be like a rock dark typing. Make like the Lunatone, make that like a night type one. Give this the rock dark typing, and then have this one be like rock fire typing, since Solrock's supposed to be like more of a sun type theme. That'd be kind of cool. Granted, those typings really aren't the greatest, because you're making yourself 4 times weak to ground, and you're making yourself 4 times weak to fighting with those typings. But this one has Levitate. They both have Levitate, so that's also kind of a plus. So you can kind of negate one of those weaknesses automatically if they keep their abilities going forward in like Generation 10 and onward. But same with the stats. These stats are just awful. I mean, these stats were okay for like Gen 3 and maybe Gen 4 and that type of thing, but like going into Generation 10, these stats are fucking awful. With a Mega, I don't know, maybe they can do like a theme to like make one of these really offensive and have like the other one be defensive. Make the Lunatone, have this thing be like crazy specially offensive, and make the Solrock, you can turn this one into the physical attacker, which is kind of already what they really have. The Lunatone's already the one with 95 special attack, and the Solrock's the one with the higher attack stat. So if they really want to do that, I think they should capitalize on that. Make one a physical attacker, make one a crazy special attacker. Whether you want to buff their speed just a tiny bit, I'd throw the speed up to maybe like base 90, 95, around there somewhere. Make them a little bit faster. Throw a bunch into attack and special attack for both of these, and just call it a day. I think that'd be really cool. And also give them a better move pool, because I don't know, if you want to give this thing the dark typing, which I think would be kind of cool, like a rock dark type within the theme of like a Lunatone and nighttime, I think that'd be kind of cool. Or I guess ghost typing wouldn't be too bad either, but I don't know. There's a lot of moves here. Like, it has okay move pool, but like, again, this is National Dex, so there's going to be a lot more moves here than it actually usually gets. So, and even then, there's not that much compared to a lot of other Pokemon. Same with Solrock. Like, Solrock, if you make this thing a rock fire type, it does get some fire type moves already, but a lot of them are all like special fire type moves. Doesn't really get any physical fire type moves at all. I don't think so, at least. Yeah, it does not get really any like fire physical type moves at all, which is really weird. Give this thing Flare Blitz or like something. Give this thing some type of physical rock type move, or like not rock type move, or like fire type move. Give it Flare Blitz, give it something Flame Charge, a new physical, I don't know what the current physical fire type move is. I think it's Burning Jealousy. Give it Burning Jealousy. Give it something that's actually it does get Flare Blitz. I just realized that it actually does get Flare Blitz, so that's crazy. I didn't know it actually got Flare Blitz. So I guess technically if they do make it a fire type, it does get Flare Blitz already, so I expect that to probably come back if they do happen to do that. But two Mons I think are really cool. Just really out-crept, and I think these have a lot of potential, especially for like designs for a Mega Evolution. They're already really simple designs. You can kind of really just go all out with like a Mega Evolution design-wise. Talk about a few other Mons. Here's another Mon that I think is really underrated. I talked about this in the past too, about Arbok. Arbok's another Mon that I would give a Mega to. I would give this thing actually Poison Dark typing. I think this thing is like the epitome of a Poison Dark type. Same typing as like Drapion. It's a really solid type because you only weak to ground and that type of thing. And it also already gets, I think, a bunch of Dark type moves. It gets Crunch, and I think it might get Sucker Punch. Does it get Sucker? It already gets Sucker Punch, so it gets decent Dark coverage already. It's just another one of those mons that's just really held back by its stats. It has okay abilities. Like these Intimidate's really good. Shed Skin's okay, and Nerve ain't too bad. Like, it has okay abilities. It's just a mon that's been power crept just since way back in the day. I would buff this thing incredibly. Like, if you get this thing a Mega, buff this attack up to like 125, 130. Throw the speed up to like 115, 120, around there. Give it a little bit more defense. Throw it up to like base 80 for both. Maybe a little bit more SPDF. Something like kind of like the distribution has right now, and call it a day. I think it'd be a really good mon. Arbok's also really cool too. Like, it's a really simple design. It's kind of like similar like Lunatone and Solrock. Like, they have a lot of design options with this thing if they do give it a Mega, just because it's a really cool mon to do that type of thing with. Next, we got Lumineon. This is another mon you guys probably forgot it even existed. If this thing would actually get a Mega, at least me personally, I would give this thing actually the Fairy Water typing. I think it already gets Dazzling Gleam. It does get Dazzling Gleam. So give this thing like Moonblast, give it like Quiver Dance, a few other really cool moves. I think Quiver Dance would be really cool. And this thing has decent abilities. Like, these abilities are okay, apart from Water Veil, but like Swift Swim and Storm Drain aren't too bad. It has okay speed. Even if they just wanted to leave the speed the same, just give it like some extra bulky stats and some more special attack or attack. That'd be great as well, because 91 speed ain't too bad, especially under like Swift Swim. That actually ain't too bad. It's one of the more like faster Swift Swim users, apart from like Floatzel and a few other ones that are faster, but like one of the more bulky type Swift Swim users. Another mon too, I think that would be just really benefit from a Mega. Like, there's another mon that just everybody forgets about, and a lot of people just overlook this thing. There's a lot of people too. I'm assuming you guys probably forgot Lumineon existed until you've seen it in this video, because believe me, I've forgot about Lumineon a lot already. Next was actually Raichu. This is another mon that a lot of people actually wanted a Mega for back when Megas were actually being introduced back in Aura/XY, that around there. I don't know if you'd just keep this thing like a normal or like just a regular electric type, but I think electric fighting could be kind of a cool secondary typing. I'm not sure, but even just like a pure electric type would be kind of good. It has okay abilities, like Lightning Rod ain't too bad. I'd give it maybe a third ability upon Mega Evolution if it ever gets abilities, but at least with like the Legends games, I don't think that really matters that much. Just mainly the stats. I would just bump its stats up. Like, give it some more speed, give it some more attack and special attack. If they really want to, they can minus its defense some more to compensate. That could be kind of cool. Just a mon I think that's kind of like, Raichu was always decent. Like, it's always been like an average mon, but I think especially recently with the last few gens, it's kind of just gotten power crept by a lot of stuff. Another one that a lot of people this is probably a fan favorite, one that a lot of people actually want to get a Mega, which they might actually end up doing. We'll find out if Flygon actually gets a Mega Evolution. There's another mon that, similar to Raichu, a lot of people actually wanted to get a Mega way back in the day when they first being introduced originally. It's another mon too that's kind of just gotten power crept. Like, if you're playing Smogon, like your lower tiers of Smogon, it's a solid mon, but apart from Smogon, this thing is just really, really bad wherever you want to use it. It's bad in VGC, it's bad in singles if you're not playing Smogon, like lower tiers. So, it's a mon that's kind of gotten power crept. I would just give this thing a lot more speed and give it like, I don't know, give it some more stats. Like, make it overall it's a lot better than it is. Buff its stats by like 20 or 30 each. Like, on like a Mega Evolution, I think that'd be great. I would also give it the Dragon Bug typing. I think the Dragon Bug typing would fit this thing really, really well, and it would be one of the new Mega type Pokemon that would actually get the Bug typing. I think that'd be kind of cool. And last but not least, we actually got these are kind of more of a duo again, similar like to Lunatone and Solrock. We got Drampa and Turtonator. These are both from the Sun and Moon type games, so I think these mons could use in Mega Evolution. These are two mons too as well that have like really cool designs. Like, there's a lot of stuff they could really do like design wise for like a Mega for both of these mons. And they're mons that are decent, but like they were never really like incredibly good. Like, the Fire Dragon typing is incredible for Turtonator, but like its speed is just so low. Like, even if it Shell Smashes, it's so low to where it still doesn't really outspeed anything. And its stats aren't really the greatest, where even with a Shell Smash, it doesn't hit hard enough to really do anything. The only thing it really has going for it, it's more of a bulky type mon with decent defense and okay bulk, but I think what they need to do with the Mega, at least for Turtonator, I think they need to increase the speed by at least like 30 or 40 points. I think that range would be good for at least for like a Shell Smash type variant. Either increase its defenses or like give it some more offensive stats by like 20 or 30 points. I think that'd be great as well for this thing. I would just keep the typing the same, because Fire Dragon typing is a good typing, especially for this thing. It just needs different stat distributions and maybe a little bit better of a move pool, because it doesn't really have the greatest move pool either. Like, it has Shell Smash. It has okay moves, but like at least coverage wise, it doesn't really get the best of coverage. It has like physical coverage, but I guess if you count all the stuff from like national decks, it has a few extra options, but like a lot of the stuff does not return to, a lot of the stuff is not going to return to those games. So hopefully when they actually if they ever do make this thing, they give this thing a lot more coverage, because it's really lacking on coverage, and being like Focus Blast is like another thing it really relies on. Having fighting coverage, but having to rely on Focus Blast is kind of weird when this thing is legit like should be able to learn Aura Sphere, and I don't know why it never got learn Aura Sphere at all, which is really weird. Same with Drampa. This thing actually has decent abilities. Like, all these abilities are really good. I don't know what you'd really do for typing. I think the normal typing is kind of boring on this thing, but at the same time, it kind of makes sense. I don't know if they would keep the same typing, the Dragon normal typing, or get rid of that entirely. For this thing, I would just make this thing a lot more bulkier. It's a mon that has a really solid stat distribution, but it's just not bulky enough. And like that type of thing, you can still like two-shot, and it's just so slow to wear. Like, unless you like one-shot something back with like a Berserk +1 boost, you usually just die on the following turn. That's kind of the main problem with Drampa most times. So I would just give this thing a lot more bulky stats, like increase its defense and special defense, and give it some more HP, at least for like a Mega. I think that'd be kind of cool. It has a solid move pool. Like, there's another mon that's probably one of the only mons that I'm probably talking about today, at least for this list I have here currently for the video, that actually has a really solid like coverage move. Like, look at all these moves. Look at all these moves. Like, it gets a really solid amount of coverage. It's a lot of good stuff. Hopefully a lot of this does come back. That's if a lot of it comes back in the new games, but solid mon. Another mon I think that's really, really cool and has a lot of opportunities and that type of thing, especially with the Mega Evolution. So that's just some of the stuff I wanted to go over in this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. There's probably a bunch of other ones. I can tell you guys there's at least like 20 or 30 more mons that I could probably have included in this video, but we'd be sitting here for like 3 hours. So let me know what you guys think should be getting a Mega Evolution in the comments down below, as well as like adding anything to the stuff I talked about in the video. That'd be cool as well. I could hear what you guys have to say. I'll be reading and probably responding to most of the comments. So, or at least at the very least, I'll probably see every comment. So apart from that, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. It's more of a kind of a discussion, speculation type video. If you guys like these videos, we'll see how this video does. I might do more in the future similar to this once we get some more information about the games. But if it does well, I might do more. Leave a like, subscribe, share the video if you want to see more stuff like this in the future. Apart from that, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for watching, everybody.